you're creating more of the distance between you and your clients rather than closing the gap. Welcome to Coach Grid. My name is Joe Spearden. I am joined, as always, by Kirsten Davis. Today we are talking vibe coding. Vibe coding is a new term. I look at Kirsten because
We're not.
Vibe coding is
like we're not talking vibe coding. This is not my word.
We're starting there. We're starting with vibe coding because it's a popular term right now. And there's a lot of charge around it. So for you vibe coders, or for those of you that want to know about it, I introduce Kirsten Davis, who is not a vibe coder, the way I understand it. But what is vibe coding to you?
There's a range on what people think vibe coding means. But a lot of people in the vibe coding Facebook groups that I'm in will be like, I'm not a developer at all, but now I can create apps that are just the same as if a senior level developer built them. And there are parts of that are true and parts of it that just really are not true. But then there's people that are going into like Lovable or these no code platforms and they're like, I'm coding, but they're really just typing a prompt into a heavily babysat environment and getting something out of it.
They're getting something. But in everybody we're talking to, it's not something that they're necessarily really happy with. And I think as AI continues to do what AI is doing and continues to improve and increase and expand, it's really exciting to see some of the cool technological advancements that come with that. Yeah. And I think if we were to talk about this subject 10 years from now, we will be having a very different conversation.
Yeah. And I will say, for like personal use or for really simple stuff, if you're like, man, I just want something that helps me do my grocery shopping every week, you can probably vibe code that. Or if you're like, every day I'm doing this thing and I just want this to be able to do it for me, like it's really good. It has a place that it really is valuable. But when we're talking about the apps that we build are really complex, customized, like high touch, high awareness, like analytics, and there's integrations with external platforms. And there's this thing happening in the coaching industry right now where people are like bringing in an AI version of me. And all it is it's a custom GPT. And that is not an AI version of you. Like vibe coding does not allow you to get as granular and measured and intentional as you need to really bring something forward that is like resonant and the level of complexity and quality That's the word that comes up for me right there is quality, right? Complexity, of course. But you can have a simple idea that has complex delivery system. Mm-hmm. You can have a simple idea that has a complex long-term plan. You can have a simple idea that deals with and integrates with hundreds and thousands of people. Mm-hmm. And so thinking, I have a simple idea, therefore one of these no-code platforms or this vibe coding thing is going to do it for me. And because of that, I've been able to see the absolute necessity of still having that when you're wanting to build a custom developed app. Mm-hmm. And so, for a lot of these coaches that come in, the reason they're wanting to build this AI model of themselves is, this is the thing that's going to allow me to scale. This is also, when you're doing that, you're creating more of the distance between you and your clients rather than closing the gap. So there are absolutely ways that you can duplicate efforts. There are ways that you can offload things that were taking your time. But right now, if you're looking to offload the actual zone of genius, best thing that you know how to do to something else, it's just not accurate. It's not true. Yeah, I was describing it to somebody the other day as, like you said, a lot of people want to, this is going to replace me. It's going to be basically the same thing. And I don't think that should be the goal of an AI agent or an AI clone of you. The ultimate goal is you want to be in your zone of genius 100% of the time. So the metaphor I gave was, if you're cooking a meal and you're an amazing chef, but your chopping skills aren't great, like So you normally would bring in somebody to chop, and that's where the agent can chop your vegetables for you. And you say, hey, here's the carrots, here's the cut I need. And it's going to do it perfectly every time. And it's going to do it the way that you want it. That's why it's helpful to have a copy of you for the stuff that anybody could do, but you want it done the way you like to do things.
Yeah. And what I'm about to say is probably the place where a lot of coaches are going to close the video, because I think a lot of coaches don't believe in themselves. A lot of coaches don't believe that they truly have something of value to bring to their clientele. Mm-hmm. So the idea is AI is this new technology that it has value. It probably has something amazing. I'm going to slap my face on it and try to create the perception that I'm bringing value to this person. The reality is you do have value as a coach. So this brings us back around to the original subject, which is vibe coding and these no-code platforms. And the people that are doing this, are they bypassing some of their own creativity because they're trying to offload it to AI? Like, what do you think they're missing out on in trying to have the AI do it for them?
Yeah, there's the other day I wanted to paint. And so what I did is I went to my office and I opened my closet where I have a bunch of supplies, and I start looking at, okay, what do I want to create with? And then I see I have this pile of mirrors on the side, and I was like, I could do something with those mirrors. So I grabbed the mirrors. I'm not even creating yet, but just the process of walking around and gathering everything is actually what inspired what I ended up creating. And so when you're going into a no-code platform and you're saying, I want a painting, you're missing so much of the soul and the learning and the meaning and the fulfillment and the thing that gives your creation, your offerings, your business. Even if it's just the way you're making money, money has a frequency. One of my goals this year is I don't want to make money that doesn't feel good anymore. If there's clients giving me money that I'm like, oh, I don't want to do this, or they don't want to pay me, I'm like I don't want that money. I want money that feels good. And that's a common thing you'll hear in the coaching industry, of people just hitting this point where you realize, you know what, there's different kinds of money and there's different hidden costs.
Yeah.
And vibe coding, you're bypassing all of that awareness and that process to say, I want this outcome, give it to me. And because of that, it can give it to you, but bypassing the one that you would have actually picked if you had open to what those possibilities were and understood how to look at the possibilities and then create the reality that you actually want to be experiencing in the tangible form of this product.
Yeah. And I think that is the part of vibe coding that we have brought in. We want you to create the thing that feels resonant. We want you to create the thing that feels impactful, that feels bigger than yourself. And so I take them through that discovery process. And then when I turn them over to you, and we do have some structure and some guidelines, you then very much go into that same process. And maybe you can speak to that for yourself, like what that is for you. What is the vibe for you? Like where do you tap into that when you're coding?
Honestly, the first time that I ever coded with AI, I was like, whoa, it can do everything for me. This is great. And this is before we ever were working with clients, just messing around in there we did like a content creation app. I made an app for you, but I was like, man, it can do everything. Go do everything. And slowly I just started to realize like the vibe isn't there, which is so ironic because they're calling it vibe coding. I'm like, and it's missing a vibe. Mm-hmm. Like it's just kind of dead. It starts to standardize. It starts to be perfect. And there's even studies of the human face. People prefer faces that aren't symmetrical. Like we like things that they have pattern, but they're not perfect. And so now my process really is, the vibe is in gathering the paint and being like, there's some food right there. Should I put the food on the paint? Oh, that's a terrible idea. The food is now and like messing up. And then the innovation that comes from that. And then where AI really comes in and where it can create a vibe is it's like, okay, I'm super clear now. I have all the creativity. I have the architecture planned out. I know exactly what patterns I want you to use. I have the layers of code planned out, like do this. I have all of that in place. And man, now I've got to sit and code for 6 months. And now you don't have to. Yeah. And that's where it can really come in. And that's a vibe, because then like there's the place where you're vibing and you're working and you're creating. And then you get to the drudgery part and you turn on a show and you just keep, looks good, continue, review the file, continue. And that's a vibe. Like, and so that's pretty vibey, but it's not, when people say that vibe coding, the way that a lot of people are doing it, is the same as having the industry experience of architecture, product design, coding principles, like all these different things. It's just not the same thing. Even if you're using the same tool, you use it in a completely different way. If you understand, if you've personally run into those things, coding by hand and had to spend 3 months undoing what you did, like you learn that lesson in a very tangible, personal way.
Well, I think for those of you that didn't know what vibe coding was, you're now a little more informed, and also seeing the detriment and the benefit to some of that stuff. And if you do have an idea, if you do have something that you're wanting to bring to light, reach out. Let's talk. It's a free conversation to have. And that's one of my favorite parts is that initial time where we get to talk about what it is that you want, and seeing your vibe, feeling your vibe, and then being able to execute on that and bring that into the real world. So thank you for being here today. You can find us at coachgrid.com or at Instagram at coachgrid.